Hey there, thanks for joining me for another episode of New Day with Ashley. If you're looking for inspiration to make a difference and create lasting impact, then you're in the right place. Get ready to be encouraged by the stories of my guests who have taken risks, overcome challenges, and created opportunities. It's time to make the most of your new day. The 10 best days of summer are almost here, and the man leading the way of this great event joins me today. Cody Cashman is the CEO at the Red River Valley Fair. Being involved in fairs his entire life, Cody has brought his passion for the fair and creating awesome community events to the Red River Valley. Well, welcome, Cody, to New Day with Ashley. It's great to meet you. We'd never gotten a chance to meet until this morning, so I'm already learning a lot about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, I'm really passionate about our community, and I know that you are as well, and you're not originally from here.
That's right.
So that's really interesting. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who is Cody Cashman? You're the CEO of the Red River Valley Fair,
Yeah.
for people that don't know, but there's a lot more to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, for one. And yes, it is great to be here, and I'm just thrilled that my family decided that we were going to make the big leap from Maryland to North Dakota. We have really kind of just jumped right in it, and really fortunate to land in North Dakota, and especially the Fargo-Cass County area. We're really, we fell in love with it. It's our community now, which is kind of weird to say because you're so used to being, I'm the Maryland boy that lives in North Dakota, and my family and friends are like, why are you in North Dakota? And then when I get here and people go, you moved here, why did you move here? Oh, I work at the fairgrounds. And then I get this puzzling look like, well, what else do you do? And you moved here to run the fair. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, and it's not just, like we were talking about this, it's not just the Red River Valley Fair.
That's right.
The 10 best days of the summer.
That's right.
There's so many other events too. Absolutely.
So the big thing was for the fair board when they hired me with my previous background at the York Fair, where I came from in Maryland, and the big thing was really getting somebody that knew how to do year-round events. For years and years and years, it was the fair and Big Iron, and that was really it. Mm-hmm. And so they decided they wanted to go a different route and pick somebody that kind of knew a little bit more about the year-round stuff. Of course, my background is fair, but did a lot of other newer events, and that's exactly what we've done here. You've got Big Iron, of course, it's a staple. The fair, obviously. We went from a 6-day fair to a 10-day fair. Well, now we're integrating the corn maze, pumpkin patch. We've got all this land. First thing I saw was, man, 400 acres. We're wasting more land than most fairs have. Sure. So it's unbelievable. I mean, the fair I came from was only 89 acres. Our fair is 400.
Wow.
And so to put that in perspective, even my dad's fair at the Maryland State Fair is only 100 acres. So we have all this land. We just farmed it. So now why don't we farm it and utilize it to make some money?
Right.
And have more events in the community and ag education. So it all kind of ties into one. So we did the corn maze, we're doing the pumpkin patch, and we're also doing the snow cross event. And we also have a big announcement coming up that I can't tell you yet, but it's really big.
I thought you were going to drop it here.
I'm debating.
Okay,
You might be able to convince me by the end of the interview, but it's a big announcement. Really excited. It's something we're going to do in December. So, we purchased, but we remodeled the Showlander, what was the Showlander Arena, now the Butler Arena. So we completely renovated that building, and now we're able to host concerts and wrestling tournaments and gosh, you name it. Fireworks are in there. Just anything you can think of. It's a 25,000 square foot building. And now we can have all kinds of events. We had a large concert in April. We had 2,400 people at it. And so on a Monday. And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. So we're hoping to do more and more of those. The goal here is to have as many new events as we can, at least one a month, that the fair is running itself, not just a rental, but the fair is actually hosting and sponsoring the event.
Okay.
So, and then we mentioned earlier the Renaissance Fair, so we're having that as well. That's new. That's going to be in August. So stay tuned for some of those.
And so these were some of your ideas because you have this background, and since how old were you?
So I've always since I was about 7 years old, I decided I wanted to run my own fair.
Wow.
I've always wanted to run a fairgrounds. It's been the goal from day one. And my dad runs the Maryland State Fair in Timonium in Maryland. It has always been a dream of mine. I grew up showing 4-H animals, doing livestock judging. So I was heavily involved from age, I'd say 6 or 7 years old. till now, essentially involve a 4-H and FFA, and showed pigs, sheep, goats, steers, did it all. Went to the University of Maryland for ag education, or not ag education, but essentially ag education and ag business. So just always been involved with agriculture, and always wanted to be involved at the fair. It's kind of amazing because I've got friends still that don't know what they want to do with their lives, and I've already been doing what I wanted to do my whole life. So I truly do love it. It's a blast. It's an awesome job.
That's awesome. So, and you have a couple kids. So, are you going to get them in 4-H?
My kids, there's zero doubt they're going to be in 4-H. Yeah. I believe 4-H is the greatest when they're old enough. But I mean, we're already kind of excited because I have animals at the fairgrounds now. And the kids are there constantly playing with them, and because I really want them to be able to show and have the opportunities I had.
Right.
And I do believe 4-H is the greatest program in the world. I really do. I think every kid should be in it. I think that people are better for being in 4-H. Let's just put it that way. My son Wyatt, he is 5 years old. My daughter Casey, she's 4. They're both active in this community now. We got them doing everything, whether it's gymnastics or ninjas or lacrosse, which I was thrilled to find out there's lacrosse in this state, because I was first thing I told my father when I said, hey, I'm going to move to North Dakota, his first thing was, they don't have lacrosse there. Not that I'm moving away or taking the grandkids to North Dakota, but they don't have lacrosse there. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, they do have lacrosse. So
I already looked into that,
it didn't stop us, even if it wasn't. But no, it was... and I have a wife, Megan. She obviously moved with us. We brought her along. And she's a CAD technician. What she does is a civil drafting, civil engineering. Okay. And so she does work from home about 10 hours a week. And so kind of a stay-at-home mom and raising the kids.
And you guys have really just embraced the community. And
we have.
And it's home, you said that.
Yeah, we actually live in a little town called Amenia. It's north of Castleton.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of out there, but
awesome.
We
I know
love
where
it.
that is.
Yeah, we love it. When we first got here, we were in West Fargo, which West Fargo is a great area to live.
Yeah.
But my wife didn't like being so close to neighbors, so we were like, hey, let's go out and live in the middle of nowhere. So, which is why we moved here. So.
Right. Yeah, you're like, we're going there, then let's be part of that.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So I read it was your dream job.
Yeah.
That you've accepted. And so what were some of the things it took to like get to that point? Because you're in Maryland. That's where you were born.
Yep, born and raised.
And then you mentioned York.
Yeah.
So was that the next?
So
shift?
I guess my real start was the Carroll County Fair in Maryland. Okay. Born and raised in that county, showed FFA, 4-H. Then
is that your dad's fair?
Well, we volunteer at that fair.
Okay.
So that's a small county fair.
Oh, sure.
And we volunteered there, grew up showing there. My mom is a life member of the Great Frederick Fair in Maryland, so it's kind of tied into the whole family. We're all very involved with the fair business, and so you could say I'm a professional carny. But I would say that my next big jump was going to college, and then I got the opportunity to intern with a couple other fairs. So I went to Wisconsin State Fair, which is one of the best fairs in the nation. Got to intern with a gentleman named Rick Fournette. Got to learn everything from him, see how one of these monstrous fairs were ran.
Right.
And that was awesome, huge experience. And then I got back home. My dad said, hey, if you really want to learn the business, you need to learn all the business. You have an opportunity here because you're still in college. Why don't you go and work for the carnival? So I could actually be a professional carny. And I worked for Daigler Attractions for 2 months.
Okay.
And I went from the Virginia State Fair all the way to Arkansas State Fair, and we were in between. We did the big jumps. I helped them take down rides, set up, do it again. Got to live in the bunkhouse, so I got the full experience and the 18-hour days. I mean, the amount of work the carnival does is unbelievable. They don't get enough credit for all the work that they do. Yeah. But I got to learn that side of the business. I already knew all the ag stuff. Now I get to learn the carnival side. And then at York Fair is where my big jump was. I got my first job there as a sales manager. Was my first position. Then I got promoted director of business development. Was there for 7 years and was very fortunate to work under 2 great managers and learn a lot. And then the North Dakota job was open, the River Life Fair. I knew about this fair because it won a lot of awards in the IAFE, which is the International Association of Fairs and Expos. Okay. So we all know each other.
Sure.
All the fair managers kind of know each other in the nation. So we kind of know each other and kind of knew this position was open. And I told my wife, what do you think? I think I can get it. And I had another job offer at the Montgomery County Fair at the same time. So I had 2 job offers.
Alabama?
No, it's
No?
in Maryland.
Oh, it is
It's a
Maryland,
Maryland
okay.
fair, and it's a great fair. And I had a job offer there, and then I have a job offer here, and we just really like this area and the values that this area has, and so she said, go for it.
Let's do
So
it.
I went for it, got the job, went through all these weird Zoom interviews because that was not really a thing then. It was right during COVID when all this
was
happened.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, March, I believe it happened. The end of February is when I first applied. I waited to the last day to the deadline to apply because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And I was really fortunate to get I was the top 3, and then they finally decided they wanted me to come, and they wouldn't let me come all the way here though because it was during COVID. Everybody was really scared. In Maryland, it was lockdown.
Sure.
We were a hot zone in Maryland, so like, hey, you can't really come up here and do an interview. Well, I've never been here before. This is one of the states I've never been to. I thought, well, how can I move here without ever going?
Yeah.
And we just debated, and we looked, and we Googled, and we researched this area, and we just, I think my wife's exact words were, "Can't be that bad. People live there."
Yeah.
So
I mean, they made a movie over it.
Yeah,
No.
exactly, right. But we took the leap of faith, and we got here. I technically started May 1st.
Okay.
My first duties as the new CEO was to cancel the fair, which was amazing. When you think about it, you came here to run a fairgrounds,
And you're canceling it.
you canceled it. And there was no doubt that was going to happen. But it was kind of one of those things where, when are we going to make that decision?
Yeah.
How are we going to do it?
We'll have the new guy do that.
Yeah. Here's a
that's a good
sucker.
idea.
Let's have him do it. Let's
No.
wait for him, right? It was definitely the right call, financially more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely hurt the fair financially. We were really fortunate to have such a strong fair board and such a strong staff that we were able to kind of figure out what we needed to do next. And I'll tell you, the first thing that the fair wanted to do, the fair board though, they said, hey, we should probably look at furloughing, because we got a lot of staff members. How are we going to do this? We just hired a new GM essentially. How are we going to handle this? And I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. I said, you know what? I really feel confident in my abilities and the new staff's ability. Like, I think we can figure this out. Will you give us a chance? And so they said, yep, we'll give you a chance. And what we did was we did drive-in movies. We did Fair Food Thursdays. Yeah. We did anything we could do to make a buck. And it was wild because we had the weirdest hours you've ever seen. We all of a sudden we were off on Wednesdays, and it was just all over the place. We did random things to try to generate money, and we did. Awesome. We did drive-through Garth Brooks concert. Drive-through Kane Brown concert. Yeah. I think it was Metallica as well. My first year as fair manager, I had Garth Brooks, Metallica, and Kane Brown at my fair, technically. So at the end of the day, I
Put
think
that on
I
a
think
resume. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who else can say that on the first fair? That's what they did. Garth Brooks, no big deal.
Yeah.
So we really adapted. We changed. That was really hard for our staff to do because we've never done it.
Sure. It was all new for everyone.
For everybody.
Yeah.
And I was not. I don't know. I was very convinced that I was not going to let COVID be an excuse for something that we can change.
Okay.
And I think a lot of fairs made a mistake of, we're just going to close everything down. We're just going to hunker down. The government will take care of us. And I'm like, well, that's great, but let's see if we can do something ourselves, and let's try something. And we did. And the staff really rallied, pulled together, and it was awesome. We did a great job, and we were able to keep our jobs and move forward and get to Big Iron.
Right.
And we were able to have Big Iron in 2020, which was kind of a weird thing because we weren't sure if that was going to happen either.
Sure.
We were able to do it.
So that was kind of your first well, not really. No.
First
all
big
those
event.
other ones.
Yeah, all those other ones. But the first big one,
Yeah.
was Big Iron. But I will say the very first drive-in movie, we had Lion King. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with my old general manager at York. I was telling him we were doing this. He's like, I want to see it. So I FaceTime him. I'll never forget, we were looking around and cars were just lined up.
Awesome.
And I never felt so good in my life. Because since I got here, I was like, do people actually live here? There was no one in the restaurants. There was no one anywhere.
Right.
Me and my family were touring everywhere, and there's like nobody around. I thought, where's all the people?
Yeah.
Where are they hiding? I swear there's nobody around. And then finally, we had the drive-through movies and a line of people. We had over 250 cars show up.
Wow.
So it was great.
Yeah.
And we did our own popcorn. We did all of our own food, which we'd have never done before. So we ended up buying a popcorn machine. We started doing all these random things, and we made money. And
I love that though.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
I'm
awesome.
such an entrepreneur too, so I can just see that in you of we can do this.
Yeah.
We can make this.
I like to tell people I'm really good at making money.
Yeah.
I really feel strongly that I am. I don't ever do it for myself, but I can do it for a facility.
Sure.
And so, and we have done just that. Kind of transitioning into, getting through Big Iron. That wasn't an easy decision. We needed Big Iron to stay financially, to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And really, the biggest thing that that was the biggest godsend for us was the ag commissioner deemed us, necessary and essential business because of agriculture.
Sure.
We got to have Big Iron, is what he exact said. He says, and his exact reasoning behind it was because he's a farmer. He says, I need that wealthy farmer to buy that new combine so I can buy it from him in 10 years. And I thought, wow, I never really thought of it that way. And that's kind of how it works. And that's kind of how North Dakota farming works too. So it was just kind of interesting how we were able to pull that off and then kind of get us to a little jump start for the future of the fair. And making the decision to go from a 6-day fair to a 10-day fair was huge because it was a huge gamble. We had no idea if COVID was going to help us or hurt us at that point. And, of course, my thought was I've always had a 10-day fair anywhere I've ever been.
Sure.
And so I know what a 10-day fair can do. If your first weekend gets rained out, your second weekend is your godsend and saves you, hopefully.
Right.
And so we were lucky. We had 10 days of no rain.
And that was, 2021.
2021.
So that was your first
fair. First fair. I've only had one fair here.
Yeah. But you had record numbers.
We had record numbers. And when I say record, I mean there was a record in every category. Most beer sold, most food sold, most tickets sold, most people on the grounds, most rides ridden. I mean, it was just unfathomable. And something that changed I changed and I wasn't sure it was going to work. I was pretty confident it would, but my first time running a fair,
don't know.
And I don't know these people. I don't know their trends. And I think I told you a little bit about this. I was a nervous wreck. We decided to sell tickets for the first time in 20 years. We used to be a free concert with gate admission. Well, in order to do that, you don't have the best acts. We can't afford, and I'll just tell you, a $100,000 act or less is what we were getting at the fair.
Okay.
And so with that, you can't get the best stars. You just can't do it.
Right.
And so the only way to get the bigger and better stars, which is what I was told when I got here from May 25th when I rolled into town, when I told people I ran the fair, they either said, well, I don't go anymore, or it's not what it used to be. And when I asked them why you don't go anymore, it was because, well, the concerts just aren't as good as they used to be. Well, they're not. They're not wrong. Listen to the people in the community. They'll tell you why they're not going to the fair. There's a reason. So we decided to up the ante, get bigger acts, get Chris Young, which is a big act. We never had one like that at the time. And, and then we decided to do kind of a hybrid. We'll do some paid ones and we'll do some free ones.
Sure.
And worked flawlessly. Awesome. But it didn't at first. And I think I was telling you this. Come July 4th, we only had, I think, $100,000 worth of tickets sold. And we were on the hook for $750,000 worth of concert acts. And so I'm a nervous wreck. I thought, man, I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, man, there was that question. Man, I thought I knew what I was doing in this job. And of course, everybody everybody knew around here, well, don't worry about it. We have a huge walk-up crowd. We'll show up. People will come. If there's good weather, we'll come. And I'm like, yeah, but guys, you're talking big numbers here. Normal fairgrounds only get a 6 to 8% walk-up. Sure enough, the very first day, huge numbers. Skillet. We only sold 2,000 tickets at first. We had 3,500 extra people just show up. Monster trucks. We only had 1,100 tickets sold. That day, we sold an extra 5,500 tickets. Was not expecting that at all. Nobody could have prepared me for that. Yeah. I've never seen that. And you couldn't get the smile off my face. Sure. I was the happiest guy on the planet. And my dad and my mom.
How are we going to do 10 days of this, too?
Oh, yeah. There's no way this can keep up. There's no way. The first weekend, there's no way that these numbers can keep up, and they did. Yeah. And I was so happy that my mom and my dad flew up to come and see the fair. And I loved rubbing it in that I said, I don't think the Maryland State Fair has seen numbers like this before,
really?
And he says, I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn impressive. That was exactly what he said. And it was just kind of awesome to share that moment and have my parents there.
Because your dad has ran his fair for
20. He's still there. He's running his fair now, like 23 years, I think. And it was just an awesome experience to have him there and kind of show off a little bit.
Yeah.
I said, even North Dakota, our fair looks bigger than yours, just kind of. And so it was just a really cool experience. And watching everybody have the time of their lives and really no problems. I'll tell you, that's the one thing about this area, and knock on wood in terms of just people don't seem to be wanting to fight with one another. We don't seem to have those issues here like a lot of fairs do, and that has a lot to do with the area, I think. But I think we consume more alcohol than any other fair I've ever been to, and I can tell you that
said most beer sold this last year.
Exactly, record numbers. We started selling alcohol for the first time, like actual liquor.
Oh, sure.
We've never done that before.
Okay.
And another thing that's kind of funny was, hey, I asked our lawyer on the board. I said, can I get a liquor license here? And he goes, yeah, just call the state. I said, really? He said, yeah, they'll give you a liquor license. I said, okay. Well, New York, Pennsylvania, it's a whole lottery system. If you can even get picked, and it's a $400,000 license. It's unbelievable. So I just called the state. 4 minutes later, yep, it's going to cost you $500 and no problem. That's it. That's all I got to do. Yep. Welcome to North Dakota.
Yeah.
Geez.
Okay. Well,
this
is
great.
Yeah.
And that generated an extra $100,000 for the fair.
Wow.
Just in the fair alone. And so, those are the little change things we're talking about. Selling our own alcohol, doing it that way, because the fair has only ever sold beer and wine at the fair and at the races. Well, that's the other thing I did. Well, now we have our own liquor license. Let's do the weddings. We have all these weddings. Why aren't we doing our own weddings? So that's another profit center for us. Because at the end of the day, you could drop $50 million on the Red River Valley Fairgrounds, and it still wouldn't be enough to get the fairgrounds to a level in which, in my opinion, is satisfactory of how it should be. Okay. We have such a large grounds. It's aging infrastructure, aging facility. We are always going to have to keep generating money just to keep the place afloat.
Sure.
Sorry, excuse me. To keep the place afloat. So that's kind of, the big goal for me is to see where we can get more profit centers so we can fix the things that we need to fix. Showlander Arena, now the Butler Arena, we spent over $1 million in that facility this year, last year, to get it to a level in which we can have people in there, AC, concrete floors, insulated, new tin, just a new style, new look to it, and it's going to pay dividends. And so it's really important.
You're already starting to see that.
It's already doing it, yes. And and it's not the I told you so moment. What it is I've seen it work in other places. I know it can work here.
Sure.
And so that's simply what it is. And we've been really fortunate. I mean, luck has been on our side. I'd like to think all of it's skill, but there's a lot of luck involved. And it's a lot of chance.
Sure. And then you have, you're leading a team of people that are helping put all this together, too.
Yeah. My team, I told my dad this the other day, actually. I said, I would put my team against your team any day. And we always go at each other like that. I said, my guys would run circles around yours. And I love telling people that because I do think we have a great staff. We have built a great staff. We've had a lot of turnover.
Sure. And
that's part of change. Yep. And, just changing things that way. The fair has never been in a better financial position than it is right now.
Sure.
And it has never been in a better, I think, turnaround period where essentially people are now seeing, hey, we got big acts now,
Right.
And so it's big.
I mean, this summer.
Do we have something going on?
Yeah. few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge acts coming up.
Biggest acts the fair has ever had. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had big acts at the fair, but they weren't big yet. They were up and coming at the time. Okay. So Tim McGraw is a huge name.
Yeah.
Huge name. And just, I believe in telling numbers. I really believe in facts and numbers, and I will tell you the fair in 2019 spent $350,000 on concerts for all 6 days. Okay. Now we moved to a 10-day fair. Last year we spent $750,000. Mm-hmm. This year we're spending about $1.6 million.
Wow.
And we're doing that because, and I said what I said last year, if people show up, it'll prove that we can do this. And the more people that come and support it, the more we will do this. It's the only way we can do it.
Right.
And so last year was a huge success. We decided this year we have to go bigger.
Yeah.
You can't go smaller. And so Tim McGraw is that bigger act. And we work with a company called Romeo Entertainment that helps us book these acts.
Okay.
And they actually, we were going to have Toby Keith. And we were supposed to have Toby Keith. There was no doubt we were going to have him, and it just fell through. The dates didn't work.
Sure.
And we got Tim McGraw, and now Toby Keith he's not going out on tour right now.
Right,
so we got pretty lucky there. Jason Derulo, we've never done anything like Jason Derulo.
Yeah, I saw.
We're going to have him. He's going to be a rock star for us. I think people are going to come to that and just be amazed that we have that kind of concert.
Even like for King and Country. Like
King Country's huge.
Yeah.
Yes, we are trying to do variety.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year we can have comedians. I'm hoping next year we can just really mix it up. The Monster Trucks last year was a huge success, but there was a lot of people that were disappointed because we didn't have that many trucks. we've got more trucks. So we've got more trucks, a bigger show, a longer show is the plan for this year. The Monster Truck Show will be bigger and better. Our concerts are bigger and better. And next year it's going to be even better. So we're going to keep growing. We just need the community to come out and support us. If they support us, we will in turn that money right back over into a bigger and better fair. We are a nonprofit. I don't think a lot of people know that. A lot of people think
probably not.
They all think we're either owned by a group of people or we're owned by the county or state. We are a nonprofit agricultural facility. We're 501c5, which is an agricultural. And a lot of people don't realize.
Agricultural designation?
Yes,
is that what it is?
It is. And a lot of older fairs are structured that way. We could be a 501c3. It's just really terminology, but essentially a 501c5. We are a nonprofit. So everything we do, we put right back into the facility or back into our programming. And something that we did this year that I don't think any fair in the nation's ever done, and I'm really proud of this, is we started the livestock enrichment program. And so what that is if you're a kid that lives in West Fargo or anywhere in Cass County, and you live in a town that won't allow you to have animals, you can come to the fairgrounds. We are paying for the animal, we're paying for the feed, and we're housing the animal at the fairgrounds. And so kids will have the opportunity to do that, come and take care of the animals, and raise the animal and then show them at the fair.
Oh, really?
And then show them at the fair and then sell them at the livestock auction. And this is how I grew up doing it. 4-H FFA, yeah, you grow up, you get your animal, you show it, you work with it, you try your hardest to win, you sell it at the livestock auction for a huge profit.
Wow.
And these kids are going to do the same thing. I paid for all my college through livestock auctions, essentially, for 4-H.
Yeah.
So that's why I said earlier, 4-H is the greatest program in the world. I truly believe that. It takes you all over this place. I went to Europe with livestock judging and judged against people all over Europe.
Really?
Because of 4-H. My brother and we got to travel all over this nation. I've been to 42 states, mainly because of 4-H.
Yeah.
So 4-H is a great program, and I truly believe everybody should try to get into it or get their kids into it.
What ages can you?
8 to 18.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's Clover Buds, which is 6 to 8 for the young kids.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But it's not just ag. I think a lot of people think it's just specifically livestock or raising crops. There's crafts. There's floral arrangements. I did flowers. I did everything I could put my hands on. But when it came to 4-H, I did it all. Woodworking, you do it all. And then you can actually enter those things at the fair. I don't think a lot of people realize that either. When you come to the fair, there's a lot of crafts, there's quilting, there's all kinds of stuff.
Right.
A lot of those are kids. There's a big 4-H section where the kids are, showcasing their birdhouse they made or whatever, whatever kind of craft. And then the fair, we get judges, and the judges judge it, and then the kids get a blue ribbon, red ribbon, or white, which is first, second, third, and then the fair gives them a premium. So we pay every kid, every person that exhibits at the fair fair pays. It's not a whole lot, but we pay them. It's a premium.
Yeah. And they get that experience.
And the experience is what you're there for.
Right.
You're not there for the ribbon. I can tell you, you got hundreds of ribbons at home. They sit in a pile. It's great. You can look at them once in a while and be like, yeah, I did a lot.
Okay, but what was your favorite ribbon or your best ribbon? Honestly,
I won Grand Champion Corsage, which was kind of random because I'm not like a big flower guy or anything, but it was awesome. And I entered it, and this woman kind of looked at me, that was the judge, and she's like, "Did you really make this?" Yes, I did. And it was just kind of funny because my aunt's a florist, and she helped with it and heavily involved in 4-H. Yeah. My whole family is 4-H.
I love it.
It's big time for us.
It seems like Fargo is like the perfect fit.
It is. I will tell you, I really want to push the 4-H program here, and that's why the livestock enrichment program, we started it, because I personally was disappointed with the amount of livestock. Because I'm like, oh man, it's a big ag state, but it's more crop than it is livestock. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And the nice thing about this area, like you said, about this area being a great area, a great fit, is Fargo, West Fargo. Most people that live in those areas, or in this county essentially, they're only 1, 2, maybe 3 generations away from the farm. And everybody I run into go, oh yeah, I used to show at the fair. Why don't you anymore?
Or why
don't your kids, right? Why aren't you guys doing it? Well, I live in West Fargo, or I live in Fargo, and we can't have animals in our backyard for obvious reasons. So now we started this program, bring your kids here. So right now we had 19 kids interested, so I was really ecstatic. But then when it kind of trickled down, when it came to the commitment side of it, we have 4 kids.
Okay.
So we have 4 kids, the animals are there, they're ready to show. These kids have worked so hard all summer. And I'm so excited to see these kids compete against kids that have been doing it their whole lives.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do well. And I'm excited for the auction. They're going out. I'm teaching them how to get buyers.
Is that during the fair?
That's during the fair.
Okay.
It's Monday of the fair.
Okay.
It's during the same night as Monster Trucks.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for this auction because I really think that they'll get the fruit of their labor. They're actually going to buy the auction will actually the people will actually buy the animal. So they actually get to keep the animal, put it in their freezer, process the animal, and keep it.
Yeah.
Which now more than ever is important.
Right.
Look at your grocery stores. Everybody I know is like, oh man, how do I get half a steer? How do I get a hog or whatever? So now more than ever, it'll be more important, and that's why another reason why I really want to grow the program.
Right.
I think we can get it there. I would love to have a barn completely full of animals with these kids that are getting ready to show, because it is truly the best project, and it's really only from May 1st. To the fair. So it's not a huge commitment. It's not a year-round commitment. It's simply really a summer project.
Couple months.
And it's a great project.
Yeah.
It teaches responsibility.
All these skills.
And friends.
Yeah.
My best friends are from 4-H. My very best friends are from 4-H. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Lifelong friends, probably.
Forever. Yeah. Talk to them all the time. They're still trying to figure out why I'm in North Dakota, but I tell them it's the best kept secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It is. I tell everybody that.
One of the greatest places to live. Yeah.
People here are just friendly, and I tell everybody
and genuine.
And the one thing that's really cool is I do truly feel like, especially on the fair side, what I do, people that come to the fair, they treat it like it's their fair. This is our fair. We should be proud of it, and I love that, because that's not the case everywhere else.
Sure.
They treat it like it's a Disney World or somewhere, and it's just different.
It's like, this is our backyard.
This is our fair. This is our This is our county fair, our region fair. This is our fair, and they treat it that way, which is awesome, because they should.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice? Like, you've experienced some different challenges.
Yeah.
You took a risk in coming to Fargo. That was a good one, though. A good risk.
Yeah.
So, what's something that, you've found your dream job, you've reached these goals?
I've been given so much advice, and such great advice. I will tell you, I've got a few, but I would say, how about this? I'll give you my best advice someone gave me from here.
Okay.
Because I was going to get rid of the beer mugs.
Oh, okay.
Before I got here. I said, the beer mugs thing, I don't really like that. That seems kind of weird, whatever. Who wants to walk around with a mug? And one board member said, you know what? How about we go, let's do one more year with it so you can see it, and then you make that decision.
Okay.
I will never get rid of the beer mugs. I mean, the amount of beer that was consumed, and people that's a collector's item. There was people that bought them because they like, my mom loves it. She uses it all the time, and there's one in Maryland. So there's one in Maryland now, and she uses it. Everybody uses it, and it's just one of those things that you either sit up on your shelf or as a collector's item or whatever. So I kind of keep that as a kind of a funny one that I'm so glad someone told me not to get rid of that, because it was
or to give it a chance.
Give it a
so
chance.
You could experience it.
Yep. And that's the other thing. Don't try to change everything at once. Take baby steps and change the things that you really think matter, and then go from there. But I'll tell you, my football coach gave me some really great advice, and the best advice was, don't tell me how rocky the sea is, just bring the damn boat in. And what that essentially means is stop making excuses, just do it. Get your job done. And then my dad gave me the best advice ever was, if you give it 100%, you'll never fail. If you go 100% in life, you'll never fail. And I truly believe that. And I tell everybody that. If you go 100% all the time, you'll never fail. If you try your hardest all the time and do the right thing, you'll never fail in life, period. And I truly believe that with anybody. I think anybody can, if they live by that motto, they will always be successful at something.
Just be all in.
All in and do the right thing.
Right.
Do the right thing, do the moral right thing, and go all in.
100%. Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
It's great. It's great advice. All those.
Yeah.
And I feel like those.
Or the best one. I got another one for you. So you asked for one. But, my football coach also said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't try. So it kind of comes right back to the 100% move.
Yeah.
If you try your hardest, you're going to beat somebody else out with talent. And I do mean that with just everything in life. So if you go 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, you're working hard. So I love what you're doing in our community. So not being from here, and I'm from here, so it's really cool to see your passion for our community. Yeah. And even, taking what we had and just making it even better. Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I do love it here. As long as the board will have me, I'll be here. I love it here. People are friendly, they're nice, they're, like you said, genuine. I plan on being here a very long time. My goal is to be the biggest fair, period, and the best fair. We don't have the attendance for that. We don't have the size population for that. But right, we're growing. It's unbelievable. I do think we can be the best fair, and that's the goal. I want people to treat
our fair like Disney World. Because that's the other thing, economy's not great. You know, everybody knows that. And if we can be someone's Disney World, right, that's everything to me. You know, and that's another advice, right? Was, you know, I think what the CEO of Wendy's said, you know, the first bite of that sandwich should be as good as the last. And that's how I feel about the 10 days of fair. That first day, we put so much effort into that first day.
Right.
It needs to be the same every single day. So because that little kid that just came through the gate, that's probably their first day there. You don't know. That's going to be their first experience at the fair. And it's got to be awesome.
Right.
So
whether you're there the first day or the 10th day.
Yep. And every day, actually, I think Brian Bolin from the Wisconsin State Fair, when I went there, he told me, he said, how many days we got left? And the answer was 10, always. There's 10 days. Oh. It didn't matter if it was the 10th day, you got 10 more days.
Yeah.
You always treat it like you got 10 more days left. So,
treat every day like the first day then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Always. Go 100%
First impression.
Yeah. And we got to make sure that people that show up to that fair have a good time. That is our goal. They're spending money. We're their fair. That's our job. And we want to make sure they're having a good time. And we really want them to learn something. Ag education is really important to us. I mean, it's really why we're there. If we can get people in those barns and educate them.
And the goats are so cute.
They're adorable. Don't forget the racing pigs, all right?
The racing pigs are really cute, yeah.
That's right.
They go in the water, yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, swimming pigs.
But it's, like you said, though, the educational piece.
It's
and
huge.
You guys, like last year, there was a lot of exhibits that, like, I learned a lot as an adult.
And you should go into every livestock barn learning something. And really, that's the goal for us. I mean, yes, the rides are there. The concerts are important. Those things that we have are to bring the people in and to generate income so we can do our programming.
Sure.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that. Yes, it's to put money into the facility, but the most important thing we do is ag education. Everything we do is driven for ag. And I think a lot of people forget that, but that's why we're there. And if you don't go to the Ag Education Center, even if you're 1 or 101, you need to go there because we have something for everybody.
Yep.
You know, we've got the racing pigs. That's a huge entertainment. You know, a lot of people didn't realize that pigs are so smart. You know, he trains them to run around the track. They're the smartest animal in the barnyard.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got Goat Mountain. I think you'll find out the goats are really cute, like you said, and they're smart. They can climb anything. I think nobody realizes that. You know, so there's little things like that. I didn't realize they could do that. How do they do that? We've got tigers this year.
Really?
Yeah, Bengal tigers, tiger show. We've got a glass blower, another educational thing to see how glass is made, and just essentially anything we can do to educate the public on really anything.
Yeah.
And entertain them. That's our goal.
Awesome. I love it. So fair's coming up, all these other events. So look at your website. Find all the different things that are going on, and we're excited about that December thing that's coming up. But about that. So we'll just keep checking the website then.
Yes, we can
see what's going on there.
There's a lot coming. I promise to keep everybody in this area busy. Let's put it that way.
That's great. And I think, you know, of course, after the season that we've been through, we needed more together, or we needed to be together more than before, and just bring the community together.
The way the fairgrounds is supposed to be is it's supposed to be for everyone, and everybody's supposed to come. And I'll tell you, we broke a record last year, 137,000 people, and everybody thought I should be the happiest person on the planet. And my biggest problem I have is that means that there was at least 100 to 150,000 people that didn't come.
Sure.
And I don't understand why not. So my job is to find out why not. What do I have to do to get that 100?
There.
Yeah, they need to come. This is your fair.
Yeah.
Come.
Well, let's get them there this year. Check it out. Learn something. Try something new. Yeah. But thank you so much, Cody, for being here and for all your tips of advice and wisdom too.
All my wisdom. Yeah, absolutely.
But really, I mean, what you're doing in our community, it's so cool to see, and I hope that this will be the best year yet.
Me too.
These 10 days. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, what a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so inspiring sharing these stories. Remember to like and subscribe below to the YouTube channel to stay caught up with new episodes of New Day with Ashley. And make sure to follow New Day with Ashley and KFGO on all social medias. The links are in the description. I'll see you in the next episode.